Hey everybody, Sean here from BoredParacord.com, and today I want to show you a new one by Robert Hunt. He calls it the Riggers Summit. It's a really cool kind of chevron pattern to it. I like it a lot, so let's get started. I have 10 feet of light tan, all one section, and 10 feet of Caribbean blue. So 20 feet total. At the end of the video I'll show you how much cord I ended up not using. That way you can kind of calculate what you need. And then I also have a 1/2 inch buckle. So to start, what I want to do is find my center point on either color, and I think I'm going to start with let's start with the tan, just so that the colors match the buckle. Okay, so we're just going to find our center here, and all I did was put the ends together and then ran them through. This is my center. So when you have one single color, it's easiest to do this with, but you take your loop there and you just stick it down through the buckle, then pull the loop to the other side of the buckle, flip it over top of your buckle, and pull it tight. And this gives you your cow's hitch with one less step. Real easy. And flip your buckle over. And then I'm just going to run this paracord through my fingers again, make sure I get all the twisting out of it. And then we're going to flip the buckle back over facing up, and from the back side put your paracord through the bottom toward the top, just like so, and pull it through. You're going to pull this through until you get your two basic shapes, which are these two loops here. That's your basic shape of the bracelet right there. I'm going to open this up. And this is where you want to take a measurement of your basic bracelet. So you want to measure from this ledge right here where my fingernail is. Oh, maybe you can't. Can you see that? Oh yeah, there we go. I can't see my camera too well. There we go. So you're going to measure to this ledge here, all the way up to this ledge here, and that should be the length that you measure around your wrist. Now this is a thicker bracelet, so you want to kind of go up a little bit. I would add an extra inch to this one. So we're going to go about that long on this one. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, just so you can see how I get this started here. So what you want to do is you want to create a loop on the right, and take that same cord down through the center. So all we're doing is kind of looping around the center cord here. So it's going down through the center, and you're going to bring it up through that loop, and then just kind of leave that alone for a second, just like that. So you can see we just basically looped around that center cord. So just like last time, create that loop on the left, down through the center, around that center cord, and then up through the loop. Pull it all through. Okay, so that gives you your, this is how it's going to lock the cords onto the other side of the buckle. Now this got a little bit longer as I was doing that, so what I want to do is pull some of the slack back out of it. That's about good, I think, right about there. And now we just want to set that alone, and we want to find the center cord of the blue now. So I already know where the center is, but I'll show you how to do it again. You put your two ends together and then pull, and that gives you your center point. Now I'm going to put my center point through, so you're just going, basically you'll have these two holes here. You got one hole here and one hole here. You should be able to make it like a tunnel. So this is going to go right through that tunnel, and my center point is right here, so I'm just going to start pulling through one of my, and this is the center point still, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit so it's right in the center. So this has 4 working ends that we're going to use on this bracelet. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now with all of this like this, what we're going to do is start to tighten up these first light tan cords. So we'll just, what I'm doing is I'm pinching right at the buckle so that the length of my bracelet doesn't get any longer, and then I'm just pulling as much cord, pulling that as tight as I can. There we go. And then we're going to pinch again and just kind of pull this slack out of this one. Just like that. And what you're left with now is 4 working ends. So that was the easy part. Well, that was the necessary part, I should say. Maybe not the easiest, but okay. So this is where we start. So what we're going to do is get these top chords out of the way. And what I mean by top is, I'll show you here. Get those out of the way. So you have 4 chords. You have 2 top and 2 lower. Now as you do this, these 2 are going to flip-flop. So the blue is not always going to be on the top. It will be in this position sometimes as well. The bottom chords, let me just zoom out just a little here. The bottom chords here, these are going to be the ones you start with every time. And what you're going to do is create a loop on the right, take the chord underneath of the center strand, and then up through the middle. And then back off to the right. So all it's doing is going under and then over. So you're going under and coming back over. Same thing on the left. You're going under, up through the middle, and then back over your center strand off to the left. Pretty simple so far. So you should have something that looks just like this. Now you want to keep track of these loops here because these come into play big time once we add our other color in. So once you get to this point, all you're going to do is take your upper left chord and you're just going to cross it over everything. So you're crossing it directly over everything, and it doesn't matter which side you start with, you're doing the same thing with the other one. You're just making an X with your top chords. These chords here, you're just crossing over the middle here. Now these loops that I was talking about at the beginning, that you created at the beginning, which is this one and this one. So now you have the light tan and the blue are going together here, and the light tan and the blue are going together here, and you have a cross here. When you get to this point, you want to grab that first chord that you started with, grab the end, and a good way to kind of remember this is, and this is how I remember it, is you have 2 eyes, these holes here, eyes, and this is the nose, and all you're doing is going to poke the eye. So you're going to take the end of your first chord that you started with, you're just going to poke it down through that hole, which I call the eye, and just pull your slack that way until you get to that point. You're going to grab your other working end, the second chord, and go down through that loop just like you did on the right side. And then you just start pulling everything tight. And you keep on pulling, you just keep pulling these all 4 working ends. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 working ends. You just keep pulling these until you really can't pull anymore. And when you get to a point when you think you've gotten all the slack out, then you're pretty much ready for the next one. And this is going to be the same thing now. So like I was saying before, the tan and the blue have flip-flopped. So now the blue's on the bottom. The blue you're always going to start with. So you're going to do the loop, bring it through the middle, off to the right. So under, over. Same thing on the left, under. I like to pinch it right there so it doesn't go anywhere. And then over. So under the center strand, over the center strand on both sides. Now you just make your X with the upper chords. In this case it's the tan one. So these are just going to go over top of everything. So I like to push these together so I don't get them confused. Just cross over everything that way. And then we're going to cross over everything this way. Okay? And then bring back your loops that you started with, these blue ones here. The tan ones go the same way. And remember, these have to go create a loop that way. And then I kind of like to get them up out of the way so that you don't get them crossed with the blue here. So we'll just get this tan one out of the way here. There we go. And then you've got your eyeballs and your nose. You want to poke down through the eyeballs. So I'm going to grab my end here. This is the right cord. I'm just going to poke down through that hole on the right to that point. And you have your two loops here, your blue loop and your tan loop. And we're just going to poke this cord down through that one. Now I'm going to tighten this up like I did last time. Oh, see, I messed up somewhere. Oh, you know what it is? I looped around the buckle. So all I'm going to do is take this buckle down through that loop and we should be good to go. Yep. Alright, see, mistakes happen. Alright, so now you just tighten up your... Oh, sorry about that. I had to cut away. I had a customer come in into the store. So, I think I was just at the point, I don't remember what I was talking about, but at this point you just grab your 4 working ends and you're just going to pull them tight. Just keep on pulling. I really like how this light tan and this Caribbean color looks together. Now don't get discouraged by these first few passes. Your pattern really won't show up until about the 3rd or the 4th pass. But once it does, it looks really cool. I like this design a lot. And we're almost there. Cinch it up a little bit. The blue pulled tight. The tan pulled tight. There we go. Alright, and that's normal. That's what that should look like. Now I'm going to do one real quick here. And then once I get finished with this one, I am going to cut away and finish this bracelet up. Hopefully I have enough cord here. I think I do. I think 10 feet will be enough. Cross over. Cross over. Get those guys out of the way. And see how I'm kind of holding everything down? A jig would be good for this one. I just don't like using a jig. Alright, and then you always want to remember these cords. I'm going to zoom in on this too so you can really see what I'm talking about here. The cords that come out right here, those are going to form your loop. So all you do is point to those and then pull them off to the right and left. And those right there, that's where your cords are going to go through. So we'll just pull this loop up a little more and this one up a little more. Your right working end is going to go down through there. Pull that all through. Left working end, the left hand one, and that's going to go all the way through there too. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit here. Got pretty close there just so you could see what I was doing. Alright, now I like to cinch everything right on up and then just start pulling at those working ends there. They'll let you know when you're tight because they won't give you any more. Go. And it's about this time, or this what am I trying to say? it's this pass that you start to see the pattern coming through. But it does take a little bit of patience. This one isn't one of those ones you're going to knock out in 10 minutes like the Cobra, but when this one's done, I think you'll be really happy with how this one looks. I know I am. I really like this pattern. Alright. And one of the reasons why I like this pattern so much is that the different passes like create the overall kind of pointed look to it, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. But if you look at it, basically what we're having, what kind of pattern we have going here is like a point, like this arrow looking thing. And it's created by the first, second, and third pass of this design. So I really like how that happens, how it takes 3 passes for the design to actually, you know, fully show. Alright, so I am going to break away. I'm going to finish this bracelet up and I'll be back to show you how to finish it up. Alright, so I'm down to the bottom here And I have just a small enough hole here where I can still get my paracord up through here, but I think if I'm going to do one more pass at this, I think I might have to use my fids, so we'll see if this fills up this last little bit here, or if I'll have enough room to do one more. So I just did I've got my loops there, cross over both of these blue ones, do my crossover there, and then go back and find my correct cord there. Gets a little confusing when you get down to the end just because everything's a little more condensed. You don't have the big loops like you used to at the beginning. Doesn't mean you can't do it though, it's still not bad. See, I was still able to get that without any fids. So one of the tricks I learned as I was going was to tighten up these first ones, which end up on the top. So I'd tighten those first, get them pretty nice and snug, and then go ahead and pull these tight just a little bit, and then go back and really give these a good tug, and tug them toward the buckle on the other end while holding this buckle, and that gets them real nice and tight. And then you can go ahead and pull these a little snug, and you want to make sure that you're not pulling these too tight that it's not in line with the previous one. So pull that a little snug. And I do have enough room to do one more here, but I'm going to have to use some fids, so I've already melted the end of these, and I've already threaded them on here one time. So I'm just going to thread these back on here again. There's one, and I just dropped that. There we go, and here's the other one. Just going to thread that in there, like so. And now we can go through this center hole here real easily. Just like that. Keep our loop there. Same thing on the left side. Keep that loop. Make your crosses with the top cords. Oops, just hit one of my lights there. There we go. Alright, and then make sure you have your right cord. Yep, we're good. And that's going to come up and over. It's really hard at the end here, seeing where everything goes. I think I got it through the right hole there, yep. This one's going to come up over and then down through those loops on the left. And that's pretty much the tie. So we're going to pull these blue ones tight first. It's a little more difficult here at the end, so just be a little patient with it. And then go ahead and pull these. A little more tight there. There we go. Great. And one more tight there. And I think that's going to about do it. I can get this one a little more tight, it looks like. Yeah, there we go. Maybe get this a little more tight. Alright. There we go. And then right where the cords are at, that's where they're going to get cut and singed. So you're going to have the tan ones coming out here, and the Caribbean coming out the back. And we'll go ahead and get these cut and singed real fast. I know this is a little bit longer video than I normally do, but that's just because there's a lot of steps, so I do apologize for that. And out of that 10 feet, I would say, well, let's see how long this is here. That's 11 inches, so I have 22 inches of one side, and there's probably 22 on the other side. So I'd say I have about 3 feet left of the tan. I have a new lighter here. This is a single flame. Very accurate with one flame. You can make sure that you're not burning the cord all around what you're trying to melt. This one's kind of cool. It has a pink flame. You can't see it with all these lights going, but it's just like any of the other torch lighters. Just a little more accurate, you can get a little more accuracy with it because it's just got the one heat source instead of having 3 where you're just attacking the cord. And I'm still using my world's dullest scissors. And I've got about 2 feet of the blue left on one side. So I would say I use about, you might be okay if you did 7 feet of each color. I think you'd be alright. And melt that down. And because I can't see what I'm melting, or I can't see the flame with this, I just melted the surrounding paracord right there, which is not good. So you just want to be really careful when you're doing this. Anyways, again, I thank you for watching my videos, and thanks for hitting that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me that so many people watch my videos. And again, thanks to Robert Hunt for this design. Again, this is the Rigger Summit. Really cool design. I love the chevron pattern that's on here. And anyways, check us out online. You can get all your supplies at BoredParacord.com, and on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/paracordon. That's where you'll find me, and find Robert Hunt. He's in there showing off his designs along with everybody else in there. So until next time, paracord on.